bad form to offer to buy you a birthday dinner and then to say, like, let me help you pick the spot, right? It should be your choice. It being your birthday and all. But there are a few restaurants that I can't go to. Unless they've changed the staff. So
there are a few that I'm legally not allowed back in. So we should cross-reference the lists.
That's cool. Okay. I mean, if we make some phone calls and some women aren't there, I'd be okay with that. Now, is yours a women thing as well, or yours like the physical location you can't be in?
I was about to say, well, like the women work there still.
Okay.
So it's kind of little column A, little column B.
Okay. Hey, it's your birthday, bro. If you want to, I'll buy you a few cans of Chrome, and we can hang out in the alley if you want. You know what I mean?
You know I'm down, dude.
Okay. By the way, what is Dan doing?
Oh, right there?
Yeah.
He's breaking up dirt. That's what it looks like.
He drove in to work today with what looked like a landscaper's pickup truck.
Mm-hmm. Where do you get those big flowing pants and robe?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. Because that looks fucking cool, dude.
And what looks real fucking fun is the leaf blower that he's got back there. So I dare him to bring that shit in here because I will blow stuff all around.
Hey, how about if the leaf blower's still here on my birthday, we piss into it?
Hey.
What?
I need you to calm your voices down, okay?
Why?
Just calm your voices down. Let's talk quiet.
Why are we talking quiet?
You're whispering. Don't whisper.
That's Dan. This is how you always talk. Is this quiet?
Quiet. Shh.
It's just us, dude.
Yeah.
Hey.
Who are we?
Shh. Don't you feel better?
You wearing a fucking
better,
wire,
right?
dude?
You feel better, right?
Yeah. What are you trying? Quit pointing at your dick, dude.
Dan's got a wire on, dude.
Buns, rub your chest.
You rub your chest.
I'll show you my tit. I got nothing.
Just rub, dude. Rub. Yeah.
I think he's trying to. His fucking wire's feeding back.
I think he's trying to make a free phone call. Isn't that the hacker trick? You hum into the phone.
You come over, look at my designs.
No, I'm still confused. What designs of what?
It's my Zen garden, dude. I am at peace with myself, okay?
Did you turn the moat into a Zen garden?
Yeah. It's here. We just spit in it.
It's just dirt, dude.
Yeah.
I think you got to have like little pebbles or something.
Supposed
maybe
to be sand and stuff.
You're not gonna hurt my my chi here, man. Dirt brings happiness. Dirt is my palace.
This is going to be a continual effort because we have to walk over this.
Exactly.
There's got to be little pebbles and little trees.
I got bonsai trees on the way, dude. I know a guy. Okay, you need a bonsai tree?
Crime. Let him bring in fucking little trees. I want to feel like Godzilla.
I want to feel like Godzilla too, dude. I'm fine with the little trees.
We get a fucking
Godzilla is destruction, not about peace.
Choo-choo. Let's get a little choo-choo going around and shit.
Godzilla was never peace. Godzilla is destruction.
Put a little buildings around too.
Dan, why is your voice getting all loud and shit, dude?
Because you guys are...
Rub your wire, fucking narc.
Can we just talk a little lower and respect each other?
Okay. We'll talk lower. Okay. What do you think we should do for Kron's birthday?
If he had any inner peace, he wouldn't celebrate his birthday. Birthdays are...
What the fuck, dude?
That's capitalism, dude. That's just American capitalism.
That's kind of bogus. We just did yours a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a fucking rager.
Dude, I'm trying to get a huff on. I'm trying to get a few cold ones. I'm trying to destroy your little village that you're building.
Why don't you go sit in the Zen garden and meditate for like 5 minutes?
I say we let Kron huff some fucking evergreen paint.
Oh, yeah. Now
we
we're talking.
film his ass in slow motion, stepping on some miniature trees and a choo-choo.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm in.
As long as
Throw
it
on some
doesn't-
Blue Oyster Cult. Fuck.
You got me with that one.
Can I be all greased up?
I think it's already bad enough that you're doing lizard face with the green. Let's not grease it.
I got pesticides in that truck. I could spray you down with something.
You guys are going to try to stop me at some point. I want it to be tough for you.
If by stop you mean just blow the leaf blower continually on you, yeah.
Well, I don't want it to shoot my piss all over me.
I need to charge my phone so we can record this.
This week on 5 Day Rentals, the challenge. Hello and welcome to 5 Day Rentals, the video store podcast, where each week one of us takes a crack at picking a flick that we think meets a fun, non-genre specific category. I am your host this week. My name is Bones. It is my duty to complete this category, and that is Erection, the films of one John Frankenheimer. I'm joined, as always, by my co-hosts, my two Andos. Laundry Dan, Cron Howard, how are you?
Howdy.
Doing good. This is a little newer of a movie than we normally watch, and personally, I never found tennis to be all that sexy, but, walked in with an open mind.
Did I say Challengers?
No, this was one of the bits that
Oh, I'm sorry. I fucked it up then.
I wrote this in my head right before we started.
I can't tell you how many times this week somebody asked what we were covering, and when I said the challenge, they were like, I didn't think you did new movies.
We fucking don't.
You should have said no, the MTV show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when listeners of the show search this movie, they will have to scroll past several MTV, was it Roadhouse v. Road Rules, the challenge?
It's just called the challenge now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it started, but now it's just a challenge.
Well, that's because Road Rules is kind of hard to say. Road Rules.
Road Rules.
Rules.
Shit.
Did you have speech when you were a kid? Just asking.
Did I have to take speech?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I spent the first few years of my formal education in Mississippi, so you could sound however the fuck you wanted. Then you move to the Midwest, then you move to the East Coast, then you move back to the Midwest, then you move to Guam, then you move back to the Midwest. There's flavor in this voice, baby.
You got Riz.
Do I?
Yeah.
Nah, far from it. Least Rizzy of the show.
Oh, when you guys came out here, you rizzed all over the floor.
You're welcome.
That was jizz, dude.
I was doing a Godzilla. I misunderstood.
Did you see the challengers?
I saw The Challenge, the movie we're covering for
I watched
this
when the
episode of
Challenger
pod.
blew up.
That went dark.
I've seen
Actually, it
people
went
have-
pretty bright, pretty quick.
It was real bright and then real dark.
What a way to go. I know it's an absolute tragedy, but what an absolute...
It's kind of the best story, right?
Oh, yeah.
getting launched into space. I mean, most people just
We're in
know,
space.
die on the toilet or something.
Blow
so-
up doing 1,000 miles an hour? Yes, please.
Yeah.
Were you asking if we have seen the Zendaya sexual thriller Challengers?
Not really a sexual thriller.
Oh, you have seen it.
I have, yeah.
Okay. I've heard it's a little bit more tongue-in-cheek than maybe the trailer lets on.
I don't even think it shows nudity. Maybe a dong. And that's just in a shower.
Yeah, we're in a
Bones
real
is in.
era. real era of dong, aren't we?
I mean,
think we're-
it's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, I'm in my dong era.
But yeah, not bad. It was all right. It's entertainment. Kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Soundtrack's good.
Yeah, Trent and Atticus did a good job.
Direction Erection, number 2 here. John Frankenheimer, previously on the show, seconds. Thanks to Dan. And shout out Murph from Weekly Podcast Massacre.
Hey, Murph.
And then last week, 1-star venture there with Reindeer Games.
What? Dan got to thank you. I don't get to thank you.
I was getting there. I was just setting him up. Thank you, Kron, for that.
No problem, Bones. Anytime.
Yeah, you're bringing balance to the force, and it's appreciated. The challenge, I think we talked about this last week in the after showers, and this is probably not a very entertaining portion of the show, but had you guys seen or heard about this before, rather?
I watched the first 5 minutes when I was checking out possible Frankenheimers for my selection, but I had not heard of it before then. It does have a pretty good cover. Like if you're just on a letterbox flipping through the Frankenheimer filmography, it definitely sticks out.
Dan, same thing. Did you watch the first few minutes?
I got a list of like movies to keep my eye on for the show, and this was on it. So I'd heard of it. I'd never watched it though.
Okay.
But yeah, I peeped a little bit whenever we were doing the category, but never finished. So yeah, first watch.
All right. I also mentioned this last week. I'll probably butcher his name, but Toshiro Mifune. You know, basically the Clint Eastwood or fucking John Wayne of Japanese cinema.
Kurosawa guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, so if he's worked with Kurosawa, would he be like, is he the Tom Hanks of Japanese cinema? Is he the Jimmy Stewart, maybe? You know, the Jimmy Stewart to Hitchcock.
I'd say like the Eastwood one was more, because didn't they like pull a lot of influence from Western movies?
Well,
and like vice versa, they
it
kind
was
of traded back and forth.
Yeah, it's back and forth. I mean, a lot of big Westerns are, reinterpretations of samurai stories, which in themselves are reinterpretation of Shakespeare or medieval things. Serious lack of crocodiles in those movies, though. But it's like poetry, baby. It rhymes, right? We're in the era where they're surpassing us now, right?
The Japanese?
I'd say, yeah, Japanese and Korean cinema. Like,
oh, well, and their toilet technology is light years ahead.
Way better at karaoke than us.
Mm-hmm.
Neighbors across the street have started again.
Yours?
Yeah.
Like outside?
It's inside, but it's so loud.
Damn.
Is it just like the two of them in there?
I think they have a few people that come over. They are the type of neighbors where you never see them. Like, the yard always looks bad, and then it'll randomly be cut, and it's just like haphazardly cut, and the trash can's on the street for multiple weeks, and you won't see them at all. And then they leave their Christmas tree up and their Christmas lights up until like March. And then come spring or summer, about every other week, they have people over and they do karaoke. And if it's quiet enough, you can hear it at like 1:30.
Any like good songs?
I think one time we identified one as an Ed Sheeran song.
Oh, I couldn't even do that.
So to answer your question, Dan, no. No good songs.
Kron, I think you and I think I might have stepped over something you were saying. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't remember. Sorry.
Bummer. That's okay. You know what I'm remembering?
What?
To tell you guys to rate my Letterboxd.
It's a tricky one.
The Letterboxd user rating is 3.2.
Thank you, Dan.
I'm going to give Bones 3.5. Lock it in.
Locked in. Bones, I'm giving you a 3.0.
Rate my letterbox locked for old Bones here. Anything we'd like to talk about before we dive into this plot?
I think just very briefly before we get into the beats, I had always kind of secretly wondered like what a movie would look like if the lead was an old wet mop. And this movie answered that question.
This is what Bones would look like in like 79.
You fucking humble me with no way would I be that ripped.
The guy's haircut is one thing, but his acting is, I think when Murph was on here, I said there's no way any of us ever win an Oscar, and I wholeheartedly believe that. I think I could act as good as this guy did in this movie.
Wow.
Really?
We might have a reverse reindeer games here. Okay.
I thought he did all right.
There's so many times where like somebody says something important to him and he's like, all right, okay.
I think that's maybe his character.
Yeah, he's brain damaged, bro.
He plays it. I believe the actor is brain damaged.
On the subject of his hair, I did think like, all right, this seems like a guy who was a Iggy Pop impersonator who took a gig as Ringo.
One of my notes is I would love to see this redone with Iggy Pop.
I think the standout of the movie is Ando.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I think
that's what's his name's henchman.
It's Hideo's henchman.
I think Jiro's working pretty hard to steal some scenes.
Jiro fucking steals my heart, dude. God damn. Son of a bitch. All right. Let's dive into this bad boy. 1982. We open on a beautiful set of samurai swords. They are inspected and prepared by an older man while the credits come on. The title cards are inspired by, an ancient scroll-like paper. We get some cut in and out with our guy here that's prepping some slight rotoscoping. We're on a fucking rotoscope tear here.
I had none of these opening credits.
Oh, okay. You watched the YouTube upload?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dan, how'd you watch this?
YouTube.
Did your YouTube, because it would cut to commercial, and then when it came back, would you have 4 seconds of black screen before the video picked up again?
No, I had maybe 15 minutes left, and it seemed like I got a commercial every 5 minutes. I was like, yeah. God damn. But just up until 15 minutes left. Nothing else through the whole thing.
Oh, wow. I had one every 15 minutes on the minute. If someone is mid-sentence, it's too bad.
I think this is going to affect I think this is affecting your experience.
Probably, yeah.
Because, all right. I hate to go to bat for big business here, guys, but YouTube Premium is 100% worth it.
I feel like I'm not on YouTube enough.
Oh, man.
You were supposed to cancel that.
I know. And then I was like, let me see if I can go another month. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. So I kept it when I canceled Hulu. And now I'm thinking about canceling Max. Because half the shit that's on Max is now being outsourced to fucking Netflix.
But you gotta throw Dune Tuna.
Dune Tuna?
Dune Tuna.
You gotta do it one more time.
Why didn't they do Dune Tuna?
That could be the next one, dude.
Of course, I'll watch Dune 2 again.
Guys, I don't know if
company pays for Max.
I'm pricing a patio TV right now.
Because I don't know if you saw it, but Dune 2 is pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
I've seen it in the IMAX, yeah.
Pretty fucking good.
You're supposed to see it.
Yeah, I am. Well, when I finished it, I was like, fuck, I should have seen this in a theater.
It happens.
If they
have reasons, okay?
If they had made the original fucking release date, I could have made it work. So thanks everyone for going on strike or whatever it was.
All right, the old man prepping these swords. He's ready. And we find out that we are in Kyoto in 1945. This man steps outside. He takes a seat. There is a ceremony happening. There's a bunch of people on the ground sitting and waiting. He sits down. He motions to this young boy, this cute little boy with glasses, to come up, presumably to pass these swords over to somebody. But another man in the crowd, he gets all pissed off. He runs up. He grabs the swords from the kid. In that quick motion of grabbing those swords, he actually fucking slices the back of this kid. Holy shit.
Kid death already. Minute 2.
Cut to L.A. 1982. Boxing gym. We've got a Japanese guy and a white guy. They're going at it in the ring. White guy is the sparring partner here.
Mm-hmm.
Two guys are going back and forth. They're talking shit to each other. Seems it's like it starts a little friendly and then it starts to get a little nastier as it's going on. Now we see a Japanese man in a wheelchair and a woman come into the gym.
There's also like a guy, like a trainer. He's got a sweet Hawaiian shirt on.
Kick the shit out of him. Kick the shit out of him. I think that's what he's saying.
He's got some good
again.
lines. Yeah.
And that's cool because usually they're in like, they got like a cabbie hat.
Sweats.
Or like not a velour jumpsuit, but like a tracksuit, switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, I like this guy's get up, Hawaiian shirt and shit.
Kick the shit out of him.
So the trainer walks up to this Japanese man and he asks if he's got an appointment with Karuko, I believe is the name of the boxer.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
And
sounds correct.
This boxer is training for an upcoming fight in Tokyo. And the man says, yeah, we've got a meeting. Now, our main character here, surprise, surprise, is the man that is sparring with this training boxer. This is Rick, Scott Glenn. Maybe
an
most
untoasted
famous
piece of white bread of a human.
Yes.
A blank slate for you to...
Before I'm just going to try to ease your take a little bit. In a little bit of the reading that I read, he thought he was doing a little bit more of a dramatic movie. Dan, you read this as well, I'm sure.
Say there was a lot cut and changed.
A lot cut and changed, and then when he realized, I'm just basically making a martial arts movie, he got a little bummed, and Mifune basically pulled him over to the side and was like, dude, do the fucking work. Like, it sucks. Let's just get a paycheck. But Scott,
he was like, yeah, it sucks that we both were excited for that, but he's like, you're in Japan and let me show you like the best time. So
that could be it. He could just be having such a blast offset that by the time he like gets to work, he's like, who fucking cares?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go party with Toshiro after this.
I don't think this is a bad role for Rick.
What would you say Scott Glenn's biggest role is? Is it Jack Crawford, Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, probably. I know I looked at it the other day.
I can also see people getting him confused with Lance Hendrickson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They've got a Paxton Pullman thing going on. All right, so Rick and this other fighter, they're sparring. They're getting a little bit more serious, and the fighter starts taunting Rick. He says, let's show him what kind of fighter you were. Smack talk back and forth, but Rick finally just knocks this dude out. Trainer gets pissed off, fires Rick. We see Rick walking down the street. We see him step over to help a little boy with a trash can, and this kid is like instantly wiser than Rick. he's basically like, I just had to wait here long enough for you to walk by to help me. Like, I've got 5 brothers and sisters. Like, patience. I've learned patience already, Rick. Now, remember this lesson. Now, later in his apartment, Rick is enjoying a beer, and he gets a knock at the door. It's that Japanese man from the gym.
Is Rick just like drinking that beer, staring blankly at a wall in front of him?
Yeah, he's pulling a putty on the airplane, just a blank stare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he says the TV doesn't work.
Yeah. So this is Toshio Yoshida. He introduces himself and he requests to talk business. Now, Rick thinks that this guy's a lawyer. And like Dan said, he's like, come on in. If this is what you want, it ain't fucking worth much. Who gives a shit? Now, and what have we learned about Rick so far? He can take a punch. He can deliver a beatdown. He's easily outsmarted by a 6-year-old.
Yeah, can carry half a trash can.
And he doesn't really give a shit. Toshio says, I am not a lawyer. And he immediately pulls out a stack of cash and he says, I will pay you this much every day. Now, the woman that was with Toshio is actually Toshio's sister, Akiko.
Yeah.
Rick asks, what's this about, man? All right. Toshio says, I need help taking something back to Japan, something of great value. Rick immediately refuses this. He's like, nah, man, I don't smuggle drugs. Toshio explains that what he's bringing back is a sword, one of the finest ever made, and it has value to his family.
It's a Hatari Hanzo.
Oh.
I think if you went back 6 months from now and asked Rick, he'd be like, yeah, I'll smuggle some drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the plan is that only a stranger can bring this in safely. All right. So it's a little shady. Toshio says that he was going to meet with the other fighter, but Rick won the fight. So why not take the guy who wins?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing suspicious about a 7'2" gangly, mop-headed white guy walking around in Tokyo.
Yep. Customs will let him right in.
That trainer does say that fighter is going to fight next week in Japan. And it's like, wouldn't you already want your guy there?
Yeah, you would want him to acclimate a little faster.
No, they're flying him in day of, dude. The cab is...
You'll sleep on the plane.
Yeah. Cab off the airport's taking him to the fight.
Taping.
Rick asks some more questions. He's a little doubtful about this whole thing. It's going to be like 4 to 5 days work. Airfare is paid. Toshio will be on the same flight. Sora's going to be well hidden. Rick's job is to just get it through customs, okay? Get there, take a cab. You're going to go like an hour outside of the airport. We'll pay you. We're done. This convinces Rick. He takes the deal. Now, when Toshio and Akiko leave, we see that they are being watched outside of Rick's apartment.
Oh, yeah.
We quickly cut to the Osaka airport. Rick has arrived. We see that Toshio has already gotten through customs. But it's Rick's turn, and he is carrying a giant golf bag.
Totally believable.
Totally believable. And with that haircut.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, are you a caddy?
Yeah, you're not wearing a polo shirt. This is suspicious as hell. But
Not a lot of golfers coming through this airport in dungarees.
the customs agent, I guess, is like on hour 14 of a 16-hour shift because he doesn't inspect much.
He has him open the bag.
Yeah.
And I think he takes one head cover off. And he's like, yep, all golf clubs.
Yep.
It's 82, man. We're not worried about anything right now.
This is the era of like plane hijackings and shit, though, right?
I guess. You can still smoke on planes.
You're
That's
already
true.
off the plane at this point, though. If you didn't hijack it, you must be fine.
Okay. You know what? That's a solid point. I guess at this point, we are probably just talking about nefarious things coming into your country. Did I tell you guys about like when I landed in Germany and had to go through customs? Like how fucking weird of an experience that was?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man. Because I was so tired. I maybe slept like an hour on the flight. And when I got there, the airport was just so empty. Like, it was hard to believe that this line that I was going through was where I was supposed to go. And I think because I was just so groggy, I just had like a laissez-faire, like, I don't know. The guy's like, why are you here? I was like, am I supposed to say pleasure? He's like, are you staying only in Germany? I was like, nah, I think we're, and I was like, you shouldn't say I think. Like, I think we're going to Denmark and then Sweden, and then we'll come back here and leave from here. And he's like, okay. And when I got through, I was like, damn, they make this seem like so difficult. I don't know if I have some sort of privilege, but it was crazy. And it was the fucking fastest I've ever gotten a bag at baggage claim.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just German efficiency,
I guess.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They're not on no union hour
I could
break.
easily gotten a samurai sword into that country. I'm fully convinced.
Is it illegal? Like, if you check the bag, surely you can take a samurai sword, right?
I have to wonder if there's something with like
You
the
gotta clear it
the
first.
antiquity and the value of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, are you just like legally allowed to carry a samurai sword in Japan now?
Well, if you're
I'd
a
be in
samurai.
Okay.
Yeah, stolen valor bones.
You can only do two of three things. I can carry the sword. I can put my hair in a top knot. But if I wear the armor, that's cultural appropriation.
I think, or even just a robe, you should probably steer away from.
Okay.
You have to dress like a Westerner, but you can't have the hair and
I'm
the sword.
still dressing my fucking gym rat self.
Mm-hmm. It's okay then.
Yeah.
I love the group of samurais that are going to come to the United States and just come and take the samurai swords back out of people's houses. Just fucking single white dudes that have fucking collections of samurai swords.
Who have no idea how to use them. All right, outside, Rick hops in a taxi, but right as he gets in, a few goons hop in behind him. Uh-oh. We also noticed that one of these guys was the guy that was outside of his apartment, presumably a few days earlier. Don't try anything funny, this guy says, unless you want your fucking head blown off. You understand? Now, this is Ando. His English is fucking perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have this in my notes later, but he explains, like, he is American. He's just been hired to basically come over and follow the sword. Now, while this shit's going down with Rick, Toshio, he doesn't see any of this because he's getting into his van, which pulls off and gets followed by another car. Now, back in Rick's taxi, he's being bossed around by our main goon, like we said. His name's Ando. Ando goes through the golf bag. He finds a sword, but it ain't the one he wants. He mashes
piece of shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's a dud.
He makes Rick feel real bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this fucking decoy piece of shit. He mashes his thumb into Rick's eye. He's like, you were set up to bring in a phony. Where's the real one?
Oh,
No.
ow. That's all you get from him.
He's jet lagged, bro. Just time traveled.
Does he get kicked in the head in the opening credits that got cut out of my version?
He got knocked around by that fighter, bro.
Why do you... Who was the other guy he was totally hating on?
Oh, there's countless. It was probably from a movie I selected, but I guess just go back through my recent picks. We're in Toshiro's van. It gets cornered in an alley. He tells Akiko to run away. She manages to get away, but the van gets blocked. Ando's team shows up. They throw Rick into this van. They hijack it and they take off. Now Ando starts interrogating Toshiro and Rick. Toshiro is very honorable. He's like, kill me if you must. But he doesn't know anything. Ando says that his boss, Toshio's uncle, and Toshio's father, Toshio's boss, this isn't confusing at all. So Ando works for a boss. This boss is Toshio's uncle. Toshio is there or was looking for the sword on behalf of his father. We'll get to their names later. They've been looking for the sword for a very long time. Ando starts losing patience. He starts cutting Toshio's face. Toshio finally lets up. He says the sword came in on a different flight 2 hours ago. The same fucking flight that Ando was on. Ando calls bullshit. No way you would let this fucking sword out of your sight. Rick does try to lunge at Ando, but it's useless. Toshio tries to attack from his wheelchair, but Ando, being Ando, just easily manhandles him and throws fucking Toshio and the wheelchair out the back of the van.
Looks great. That's the kind of like late 70s, early 80s shit that I don't think you could do that anymore.
No.
He throws him like off of an overpass.
Well, yeah, he like, they're on a bridge when he kicks him out. The wheelchair like rolls backwards, but somehow Toshiro gets turned around and the front of his wheelchair like hits a curb and then Toshiro goes flying off the overpass. Gone.
Looked like he could have survived that.
Ando says that his boss is going to be fucking pissed and he's going to bring Rick along. So the boss has somebody to fucking take it out on. So we finally get the name of Mr. Hideo. Forgive me, for some reason, Notes tried to change Hideo to video every time I typed. So if I misspeak, apologies.
Yeah, this would be a tough one to, like, autocorrect would be going crazy on this shit, so.
Yes, I already am a bad reader and speaker. Now combine this with spell check working against me and their Japanese names that I'm trying not to mutilate. Set myself up. Now, Hideo has a massive complex. Dude owns everything. And when I say complex, I mean physically, like it's an actual physical building. And we come to find out he's got some emotional complexes too. We'll get into that. Don't worry. This movie's quite deep.
It does look like a future building almost. I mean, it's like crazy architecture and shit, and I don't know, it's wild looking.
Oh, this is like a classic Bond.
Yeah, it's like a
style layer. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ando walking Rick through this complex basically tells him that Hideo is involved in everything, dude. Shipping, real estate, racetracks, hotels. He's got a cat house in Bangkok. Fuck,
Hell
dude.
Yeah.
The air you breathe, my friend. He's got a piece of that. We finally meet Hideo. He inspects his own sword. And next to it, we see an empty space for another sword. Uh-oh. Hideo disputes the fact that Rick doesn't know anything. And he said that he kind of echoes what Ando said earlier, that there's no way that Toshio would have let the sword out of his sight. Now, Hideo tries telling Rick that perhaps Toshio set you up, just like Ando said before. Now, Hideo claims that he has a claim to the sword. It would have been his a long time ago. Hideo was injured by an American artillery in the war. While he was injured, he's in the infirmary, and he says he actually woke up and saw the sword being taken and then traded for a fucking carton of cigarettes. What a cron move there, huh?
Good deal, dude. When you're needing to smoke, you get a whole carton? You kidding me? I'd have done it for a pack.
Now, this is a cool... Go ahead.
Were you ever at a point where you bought cartons?
No, I never bought cartons.
Bones?
I did get to the point where I was rolling my own, if that counts for anything.
I mean, we would buy cartons if we were, like, we're going to this cabin to get fucked up this weekend, right? Like, it just made sense for, like, the group to buy a carton.
Yeah,
how many are in a carton?
Or, you know.
I think I remember
5
Danny
finger
Depp
discount.
buying them.
Yeah.
How many do you get in a carton? How many packs?
Not enough. It's 10 or 12, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Cool part here.
20?
Get you through a weekend.
Hideo, 12 times 20. 240.
240 cigarettes in one weekend.
Well, how many people?
6.
Well, you got to factor in, though, that Dan's having a fifth of a cigarette at a time.
I'm having 2 packs. You know that off the bat.
So that equals 2/5 of 1 pack. Total.
Next, buds, we're going to see who gets through their pack first.
Dan, you need those Fifth Element cigarettes.
Oh, my God.
That's like 3/4
You two didn't
filter.
even smoke cigarettes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm better than you. Darn.
I'm better than you.
Truthfully, I would rather have none than 1/5 of one.
That's not true at all. And you know it.
All right. Hideo takes a business call while he's holding his sword, and he's holding a tip at Rick while he's taking this call. Very threatening.
Some guys have been in that situation, too.
Slices Rick's sweatshirt a little bit. One final threat. Rick claims that it would make more sense to not tell the poor asshole you hired, right? And Hideo's like, all right. Ando knocks him out.
Pretty good little,
Yep.
I was like, God damn.
Rick gets taken to an alley while he's getting kind of pushed out of the car. We don't know what's going on. Rick's kind of acting here is pretty good, right? He's kind of acting like he's beat up, kind of sluggish, and he pushes one guy out of the way, and then he fucking takes off, dude. Classic run through a fish market. The goons give chase. Now, one of these goons, they manage to get in front of Rick. When Rick tries to fight him off and run away, the goon stabs him right in his lower back.
I don't think he runs very good.
I don't think anybody was aware that they were going to be running through this fish market. Because those people are like, what the fuck?
Oh, the little parade or funeral procession thing later. There's a part where when like Ando's threatening him, it looks like legit real people just walking by, looking right into the fucking camera. Kron, is there anything that Scott Glenn does do well in this from your perspective?
I don't know, man. He acts bad. He moves bad.
I have it. It's Motorcycle Boy. That's who Kron just couldn't stand.
Yeah, Motorcycle Boy was insufferable, though. Whereas this guy just is doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, man.
Nobody can win with you.
People can win. John Lithgow delivers every fucking movie he's in, dude.
If we don't have a fucking movie with John Lithgow using a puppet, we're not winning.
You're telling me that you think this gangly motherfucker's running through that fish market in a believable way?
Yeah.
No.
He's jet lagged. He's been beat up.
He's moving slow.
threatened.
He's doing like high knees and shit for some reason.
You think that's why Frankenheimer threw in the quick shots of the fish? Or did you not pick that up?
Something to take the camera off this piece of drywall.
Hey, at least you had something to fucking sink your teeth into this, buddy. All right, he manages to get away by like throwing. It looks like maybe like a pot of boiling something on this guy. So he gets away. He starts crossing some train tracks. He starts trying to get into some of these buildings over here. He's starting to bleed out. One of the goons approaches. He has the drop on Rick, but the goon is stopped by Toshio's female companion. That's right, his sister, Akiko.
Yeah.
Cut to Rick waking up with Akiko tending to his wound. And Rick is not a fan of this procedure. He's talking all sorts of shit. Like, what is this mud you're putting on me? This shit stinks. This sucks. I fucking hate it here. You guys suck. Your brother's an asshole.
I'm up to my ass in fish.
Yeah. Akiko tells Rick that they are at her father's house in Kyoto. Rick continues feeling pretty sorry for himself, but considering everything else that's going on, man, well, that's a little mud on an open wound. He passes back out. Later, Rick is ambulatory. He's dressed. He's walking around this compound He comes across some sword fighting training. Got this older man and a younger man sparring with some wooden swords. I don't know if these are technically kendo sticks or like some sort of version, but they're the wooden samurai swords they're training with.
Isn't a kendo stick like that's what
like
Sandman had, right? From ECW.
I think so. They're almost like
skin.
Yeah, I think those
they're
ones,
like reeds kind of banded together or something. So they got a little bit more of a pop.
break apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just something WWF created.
That was ECW.
Apologize to the people, Dan.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit.
You fucked up. You fucked up.
Kron, how much wrestling are you watching right now?
It just comes across Instagram constantly, dude. So I put like 2 hours a day. I don't know.
I've went full snakes. Snakes are, I'm not even looking at snakes anymore.
You got it. Not interested. You got to tell it. Yeah. You hit the little 3 dot. You can say like, not interested in this. Don't show me stuff like this. Yeah. All right. Rick sits down next to Akiko, and he tells her that he wants to talk to her daddy about something.
This is one of my favorite shots in this because he's just walking through there like, I'm going to go sit over here. Like,
yeah. White collared shirt tucked into some classic 80s jeans. He's got classic fucking sneakers on. That hair just a-flowing. A great wide shot of Toshiro, Mifune and this young guy sparring.
Looking around, fucking plops his ass down.
Yeah. So he sits down, and Akiko motions to the old man fighting, and Rick's like, him? That's him? Shit. Now, the training gets interrupted when a cart is pushed onto the grounds, and inside the cart is Toshio's wheelchair. And hidden inside of this wheelchair is the fucking sword. Akiko's father is presented with the sword. He holds it to Akiko and steps away. Now Rick just starts yammering at him. Can I talk to you? Can you just pay me what you owe me? $2,000 and I'm out of here.
I need my $2,000 and I'll be out of here.
Akiko's father, this is Yoshida. He just ignores him and takes the sword to his altar where Toshio's ashes are also waiting. Yoshida places the Suba, which is the handguard, on a samurai sword. And I told you guys last week that I went to a design museum in Copenhagen, and they had a collection of those that were pretty badass. He reassembles the sword, and he returns it to its place on its altar.
And then he picked the challenge instead of Ronin, folks.
There's samurai swords in this one.
Yeah,
Ronin means samurai.
Ronin, well, it's one who's like abandoned his tribe.
Just
and also,
it's law.
He's a Ronin in name alone in that movie.
Well, yeah, it's a reference to throw you off because he's actually still working. Never mind.
Bones,
he was already there.
Start Ronin right now. Let's just jump to the plot of that.
So De Niro shows up at this bar in Paris.
Yeah.
Everybody's smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, don't they like double cross him at the beginning?
There's so many fucking...
Frankenheimer has such a hard-on for like double crosses.
There's so many yeah.
But that is the opening of that, right? He gets double crossed in that bar.
Well, yeah, but he also does the cool shit where he like sets up his exit. Like he was like
the gun.
Yeah, he was like low key working the perimeter because he was checking it out. I think my favorite part of the whole movie is when the other American guy is like, when fucking De Niro starts talking and the other guy's like, wait, you're American? It's like, no fucking shit, dude. You know why I didn't pick that movie?
Why?
Because it would have been 25 minutes of me explaining why it's the best car chase. There wouldn't have been any bits because I wouldn't have allowed for it.
It just was ranked by The Ringer as the #1 car chase in movie history.
Well, we know The Ringer is the be-all, end-all of movie podcasting, so.
Duh. That's why we signed with them, folks. That's right. You heard it here. Bill, we're coming home.
They drug the poster into the S tier column.
Go Celtics.
No, I wish. I don't know if the AI presidents have ranked car chases in movies. Maybe I should write that script.
Dan, what got second? Bullet?
Bullet was lower.
Bullet was probably like in, I don't even know if it was in the top 10. It might have been in the top 10. Might have been like 8 or something. I don't remember. Go on theringer.com.
I don't think Jack Reacher was on the list, and I think that was the one that kind of pissed me off. I was like happy that Ronin was #1, but I don't think Reacher was on there. And I think Reacher is an excellent fucking car chase. Death Proof.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, they had that movie that we went and seen on there where she gets shot in the eye. Doomsday, was that?
Oh, God. We're going to do that someday.
I've seen it and I was like, oh man, I totally forgot we went
to the
theater.
I've been wanting to do the movie he did before Doomsday, that director. I think he did Dog Soldiers.
I started that.
That's been on my list for a while.
Yesterday.
Really?
All right. 20, Quantum of Solace.
Okay.
19.
There's better Bond ones, but okay.
19, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
18, Vanishing Point.
Vanishing Point's that's probably too low.
Too low. 17, Fast 5.
Yeah, the Vault.
Haven't seen it.
16, The Blues Brothers.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Should just be on the list. I'm happy with that.
15, Baby Driver.
Nah,
take it off.
14, The Raid 2.
Yeah.
13, The Driver from 1978.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
12, The Bourne Supremacy.
The Quantum of Solace one's the Quantum of Solace one. You can't fucking see what's happening, and it's better than the Bourne Supremacy one.
11 is The 7-Ups from 1973.
I tried to watch that movie at one point, and I couldn't. It was like difficult to find.
Roy Schneider, right?
Yeah, Schneider movie. 10, Death Proof.
Good.
9, To Live and Die in L.A.
That is a good car chase.
I think it's a tad high.
Number 8, The Matrix Reloaded.
All right, it's our
now
most
we're-
CG heavy one. Yeah.
Now we're just fucking around, I guess.
Number 7, Gone in 60 Seconds from 1974.
I have it ripped. I haven't watched it yet.
Number 6, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Good.
5 would be the recently covered Duel on the Weekly Podcast Massacre.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
4, Mad Max Fury Road.
Kind of.
Okay.
I mean, it's.
I don't agree, but I expected it to be somewhere around here.
I love the fucking movie, but there's a part of me that's like, that's the conceit of the movie, right?
Which one do you choose?
Yeah.
Number 3, The French Connection.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Bullet. Kron, you were right.
Hell yeah. I fucking guessed it, dude.
And number 1, Ronin. From Frankenheimer.
Fuck. Number 1, Ronin. Number 2, Death Proof. Number 3, I'd be content with Bullet. Number 4, French Connection. Number 5, Jack Reacher. That'd probably be mine.
I think I would put French Connection over Bullet.
French Connection has just the fun of like stolen shots, and
It feels way more dangerous.
Yeah. They're like almost hitting people.
Yeah.
French Connection 2. Not too bad, actually. Directed by Frankenheimer as well.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that when I scrolled through fucking Letterboxd continually over the last month.
Shouldn't have took you that long.
I had to be prepared. I didn't know what Kron was going to pick.
Kron, I had him down to Reindeer Games, Prophecy, or The Challenge.
All right, let's jump ahead a little bit. Rick comes across some dudes doing some archery. Hey, these guys are pretty good, huh? Kron's not here, so he can't knock Scott Glenn's acting, which I think is pretty good. I think it's okay. I think it's serviceable to the story and it's believable.
He plays a good character here.
He's
Kron.
He's mostly ignored as he's walking, and he meets Go, which is an older guy, works on the compound. Rick asks what they do here. Go says we train, we meditate, we wait for battle. You better have some heavy artillery if you're talking about who I think you are.
Which that makes sense. I mean,
yeah, he's realistic, right?
Yeah, he's lived it.
Mm-hmm. So Go demonstrates what's going on at this compound, though, because he throws like a book out into the courtyard and yells, and then like 4 fucking arrows hit the book. Well, get close to the book. They're not like direct hits. Not quite kill shots.
Rick is impressed, but he's like, where are they at?
Yeah, what the hell? Rick then goes and he meets with a cute little kid named Jiro who's working the garden. Cute little back and forth, and Jiro tells him, hey, before you learn the sword, you must learn the rake. And then we get what some might consider a culturally inappropriate scene. You know, Temple of Doom gets a lot of flack for a scene similar to this. That is way worse, right? The Temple of Doom sequence is way worse.
I didn't think this one was that bad, honestly. No. I mean,
I think the fun here, too, is you don't have the characters like you do in Temple of Doom, the guy who's like, chill monkey brains, who's like amplifying it and making it more of a character, where this is
just dinner.
It's just dinner, but also at a certain point on my second watch, I thought that maybe they were fucking with him. Like they were amplifying these a little bit more by giving him like the top half of the lobster and making him drink the fish and shit. It seemed like
I think
they were all kind of in on it, that they are aware that this is like the extreme of their culinary delights, right?
I didn't like seeing the water in the fish because automatically I was like, well, I know what we're having at the next meetup.
I was kind of hoping you wouldn't bring it up.
We're doing those worm shots.
So Rick is served a live lobster that unfortunately was just cut in half right on set.
Rick makes an ass out of himself in this scene. I could eat that. I could eat that stuff, dude. And I would be so respectful.
I don't know if I could do the fish and the sake. I don't think I could do it.
Okay. Yeah. So he kind of picks at his live lobster a little bit. Then he sees that one of the guys served a live fish in a glass of water, a very Steve-O sort of stunt. This guy takes it like a champ. Rick asks what this is. They're like, oh, it's a delicacy. They serve him one. He's like, no fucking way. And they're like, it would be impolite. Oh, damn. It looks like Scott Glenn really does this. And he sells to me the like, oh, fuck, it's still fucking moving down there. And then immediately hits the bottle of sake. And Akiko's like, whoa, this is pretty strong. And he's like, fuck that, this I can handle.
Yeah, he pours a full glass of it, chugs it, and then fills it up again.
Yeah. Cut to Rick being fucking hammered. Thank you for getting me mixed up in your little war here. If somebody had bet me a couple weeks ago I'd be sitting on a cold floor with my legs falling asleep eating food that ain't quite dead, I'd have lost my ass. Now, this whole time, Yoshida's just at the head of the table, kind of just smirking while Rick's making an ass. Rick's had one too many, though, because he gets up to go fucking throw up. And in the subtitles, we see that Yoshida says, he said, "Thank you for the wonderful meal." Everybody cracks up. The next morning, a hungover Rick, he's awoken up by a fucking gong. And not just like a single Danny Carey Tool gong hit. I mean, this is dong, 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 dong. The Yoshida crew, they're already training. We see Rick start to take an interest in some of this. He starts following along behind this door. Yoshida and some of his guys, they come up to Rick. He's like, "You stink." Rick approaches. "I stink? Listen to me. I'll kick your ass. I'll kick your ass. I'll kick any ass in this joint, all right?" Yoshida asks, "Hey, you'll fight?"
Shit,
Rick's
yeah,
like,
I'll fight.
"Shit, yeah, I'll fight." And they call over Kubo. He's a fighter that we've seen around. And
this guy, he looks exactly like the dude on Instagram that is hyped as hell to work Fridays in the office.
Kubo definitely looks like your girlfriend's ex. Like he has a vibe of brain dead, but somehow is driven. I don't know how to describe it.
They didn't think I would make it to the Bushido tournament, but I'm locked in. I'm at the dojo every Friday when you're sleeping.
So they make a deal with Rick. Hey, if you fight Kubo, we'll give you your money and you can leave. Or you can just leave right now. There's no dishonor in just deciding to leave. And Rick's like, "Fucking fight. What are the rules? Weapons?" They're like, "No weapons, just hands."
Why would you ask for weapons?
It doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. But I think he wants to fight hand to hand. He's not trained in weapons. He's a boxer.
It seems like they're like, "Hey, fight Kubo. If you win," well, not even if you win, they're just like, "Fight him and we'll give you the money." And he's like, "All right, let's add a fucking pole spear to this equation that I've never touched before."
I didn't get that impression at all. I think he was just, what's the sanctioned rules of this bout? But ultimately,
throw your sword.
He's tested right here. He's like, "All right, just hands, okay." And he asks Yoshiba, and Yoshiba's like, "Fight to survive." All right, come on, Kubo, let's get it on. We cut to Rick absolutely getting his ass kicked by Kubo here. Just tossed around. Every fucking punch is countered. He's continually put into different arm locks, choked out. Rick will get up and try to fight back, but Kubo just easily manhandles him. Dan, who did the fight choreography on this movie?
Oh, none other than a 5DR man who's been on the show, guest here. Not a guest.
Let's not say his name. I don't want to summon him tonight.
Steven Seagal.
Oh, I believe it's Steve Seagal on this one.
Do you think he showed everybody what they were going to be doing seated in a chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was billed as Steve Seagal. And he was a technical advisor and martial arts coordinator.
All right. Rick's finally had enough. Yoshida orders that Rick be picked up and paid, booted from the compound. Rick takes one last longing look at Akiko before he's ordered down the road. Guys, we take a break. All right, welcome back. Just before we left, Rick got his ass kicked by Kubo.
Shit, yeah, I can fight.
Embarrassed himself in front of Akiko. Dishonored himself in front of Yoshida. Finds himself
dishonoring yourself, shitting yourself as well?
I think if it doesn't stink, it's dishonorable. If it stinks, it meant that you had a
Taco Bell.
I don't think that's how I interpreted it.
Well.
Honestly, like what I would say is during the last pee break, I dishonored myself.
So you dribbled on your shorts.
Not exactly.
You did a JO?
Put a hole through the drywall, dude.
Is JOing dishonoring yourself?
No,
Yeah.
it's enhancing yourself.
Yeah.
Is it? Is that how you feel 10 seconds after?
It's enhancing yourself until 10 seconds after, and you're like, let's do that again.
Now, what about the guys that have to enhance themselves in order to JO?
Wait, what do you mean?
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you should get Hims. They're our sponsor this week.
Thank you, Dan.
Use code 5DR on any of Hims' great products. Obviously, Bones is using the hair stuff.
Obviously.
I'm using the weight loss, and Karan is using the ED.
Well, I'm letting their hair supplement expire, hoping it takes some of my hair away.
Guys, I got problems. ED, not one of them. Too many boners. I need a anti-Hims, dude.
Yeah, their weight loss pill fucking sucks. It's not working at all.
Work from home was great for Tron. All right, Rick finds himself in this bar. Got some cash in his pocket now. On his way out of the bar, though, he gets a little hassled for a cover charge. You know, they charge you for listening to the music and the pretty ladies that sit next to you. He's trying to dispute this shit when a bunch of goons come up. Sure enough, seems like this was just a fucking ruse. So he'd get forced to talk to Ando. Ando's kicking ass on this arcade racing game, which the beeps from said game drove my dog absolutely fucking bonkers. So thank you, Frankenheimer.
I paid no attention to the conversation that these two had because I was watching him just play the game.
And watching how well he was actually doing.
There's one point where I'm like, holy shit. Like, he is pretty good at this.
He set a new fucking high score.
He has on driving gloves in this scene.
Yeah.
He's a pro.
Yeah.
So while he's playing this game, he's kind of talking to Rick, and he's like, listen, dude, how many fucking blows to the head can you fucking take? I'm about to give you a fucking prime opportunity, and this is the deal. Go back to Yoshida. Fucking beg, grovel, do whatever. Get in his fucking good graces. Get yourself back. And once you get a moment with the sword, hijack that shit. Come find me, and I'll give you $13,000. And I'm going to give you $2,000 right now, just in good faith. Fucking cut to Rick talking to Yoshida, groveling. Please teach me, Sensei. I'll do whatever you say. Now Go says, all right, you must prove yourself. You got to kneel. Rick's like, no, fuck that, dude. Anything but kneeling.
This scene is so funny because he's like, I'll literally do anything to get back in there. He's like, all right, you got to kneel when you address the sensei. I don't kneel to any man.
But this is important because despite this, Yoshida lets him in.
Yep.
Cut to a bamboo forest. Yoshida's showing his skills. Go ahead.
Would you kneel for $13,000? I'd kneel for $13,000, dude.
I'd kneel for $13.
I mean, if that's it, yeah, I guess so.
That's all I had to do, yeah.
Yeah.
Not when that pee-pee flops out of their pants. What are you doing, Carl?
That's not part of it.
But what are you doing?
Now we're back to the 13,000, dude.
How many zeros?
All right, where are we at? Bamboo forest. Yoshida is doing a demonstration with the samurai sword. We see this fucking... He just slices through a thick-ass stalk of bamboo like nothing. Rick's turn. Fucker just ends up bending his sword. Fucking Bugs Bunny-ish, like...
Don't you ever get, like, tired of your backyard and you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to plant bamboo?
Nah, that shit grows like crazy, dude. Everyone I've talked to who's got, like tried to grow bamboo, it overruns the property and shit.
Oh, yeah.
We had a giant section when we moved in here that we had to rip out. And it took
bamboo?
Yeah, a bamboo, like to the left of my driveway. I don't know if you ever saw where the old fence was, but there was this weird section of fence that was basically falling down. And there were some like half-ass screws put in there to kind of keep this section up. And then a shit ton of bamboo, which I guess they tried to do for privacy. And we were like, fuck that, I'm moving the fence anyway. And it took a good summer. Like we did one weekend where we just dug as much out. And then all summer when like, little shoots would pop up, I'd go out there and dig them up. But
I hear snakes like it too, though.
What don't they like? Fuckers.
Well, why don't you look at your Instagram and tell me if that's true or not?
Yeah. Might be where I learned that, Carl.
I found a dead snake in our yard last weekend.
What are we talking? Like a
No.
ringneck?
Nah, maybe 10 inches. Little garden snake. Nothing. But I was like, its fucking head's cut off. This is weird. Is this an omen? Did a bird drop this? Like, what the hell? So I picked it up with a shovel. I threw it in the trash can. 2 days later, I go to take the trash out. Fucking scared the shit out of myself when I opened the trash can. Forgot about that snake.
It had two heads, didn't it?
And it spoke to you?
Yeah.
The time has come.
Then a big guy showed up to my house and told me I was a wizard. It's a Harry Potter reference.
I don't know what that is.
How woke of you.
Yeah, we hate J.K. Rowling.
Oh, is that the author who has those cool opinions?
Yeah. All right. We see Rick cleaning up. I guess part of his task, right? Being the new guy at the samurai school. He's got to mop the floors, take out the trash, pick up the snakes, all that shit. Then
Bite the heads off of them.
Yeah.
Put them back where he found them.
Little montage of him struggling to keep up, like in stick training. What's cool here is Jiro's just sort of hanging off to the side, just fucking taking swings with his little sword too. Later, Rick watches his poor Jiro's getting fucking chewed out for messing up some laundry. Rick's got a good heart though. He calls Jiro.
Who's the other guy? He seems like the dojo's accountant or something. I mean,
yeah, Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we introduced him while you were out.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he for the most part he seems kind of neutral, and then you get this part where he's just fucking laying into poor Jiro.
He just likes clean laundry, man. You can't blame him for that.
You don't need to make the kid cry over it.
Yeah.
Hey, he's learning.
They told the kid to learn the rake, all right, not the washboard.
It's acceptable on Laundry Dan's side. He's okay in my book.
Jiro didn't deserve this.
But Rick's got a sweet heart-to-heart with him, all right? He talks about patience, paying your dues. And while he's being sweet, we see that Akiko, she's eavesdropping. Later that night, while pretending to clean up, fucking Rick steals the sword, man. Doesn't take very long. Takes that shit, runs out the front gate. As he's running down this alley, he gets startled by an alley cat. He draws the sword. He gets fucking lost in the beauty of this thing. The fucking glow, the tint. The history, the honor of this fucking thing. Something comes over him. What the hell am I doing? God damn it. He sheathes the sword. He runs back. As he's walking back to the compound, though, Go and Yoshida wait at the door. You saw me the whole time. Yoshida knew that he would take the sword. That's why he let him back. Yoshida calls out for his archers to reveal themselves. They were fucking watching his ass.
Yeah, doesn't he ask, like, what would you do if I just kept running? And then the archers all, step out.
Yoshida-san, Sensei, this is yours. He finally kneels. Please forgive me. Please take me back. Yoshida states that he must prove himself, and Nealon ain't going to do it this time. Cut to Jiro fucking telling Rick that he's crazy because Rick is digging a hole, because Rick is going to bury himself up to the neck. No food, no water, no shade. He must last as long as he can. First night. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. A song that I only know thanks to Pee Wee.
Mm-hmm.
The stars at night.
You sent us this clip, and on that night, I had not yet started that movie, and I spent a good 10 minutes being like, the fuck does Bones mean by this? What's Bones trying to say here?
10 minutes?
Yeah, because I was like, what the fuck? Like, did we talk about Pee-wee on an episode?
I don't even, whatever Bones says, I just flip over.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
See, at least I wondered about it.
I appreciate it.
At least I tried to put the pieces together.
I think, yeah, you were doing Dan's part. You should have only worried about it for about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think I sent it on like Tuesday. So it's conceivable that you would have already watched it, but I
started the movie that night.
Yeah, I think the same for me. And I was like, okay.
Or was it? It might have been Monday, because I think I did my note watch on Monday.
I started it Tuesday and finished it last night.
Kron.
What?
Just pay the $4. If the
It was
commercials
free
are that
on
bad.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he had all the fucking commercials. Probably doubled the runtime.
Yeah, probably.
So Rick's singing to himself through the night. He calls his whole thing fucking bullshit. Cut to the next morning. Kubo starts taunting him. He brings out a nice steamy bowl of white rice. Puts it like inches from Rick's face. Doesn't take long for the ants to show up, though. Worms crawl in. The worms crawl out. He's just fucking losing his shit singing to himself this night. Kron. Rat approaches.
Fuck, dude.
Gets awfully close.
I mean, you can tell this was not shot in Chicago, because if it were, all that would be left is the bones, dude.
Did it shoot up a 0.5 when you seen that rat, though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're up to 0.5 already on this thing.
Do you guys like that? I think he did what I would have done, which is like prepare his mouth to chomp. Like he's got like he's just like open and ready. Like come at me.
If that's all you got, I guess you gotta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, I'd have been spitting at that thing. Yeah.
I don't know if I would spit though. I feel like that would antagonize it. Maybe blow.
Yeah, Bones is down there in the dirt blowing rats again.
How many days would you last?
I could do 6. These guys only did 5. And if I did 6, I could probably push through a 7th just to make it a full week.
Next morning.
Going to the bathroom.
You're in the dirt, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to soak it up.
Soaks right up. Although it might harden around your cock though. Like
I think I'm like 2 hours. All right. Get me out of here.
I think the worst would be the sun exposure. If I could get like a little shade out there.
100%. Yeah. That's always my big issue with like any sort of survival situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next morning, though, Jiro comes over, tries offering some water to Rick, but Rick, he's tough, man. He fucking refuses. And sweet little Jiro, he even offers to dig his own hole, hang out right next to him.
The fucking hero of this movie, dude.
No, it's just called boredom.
No. He's pure heart, Dan.
Another
He's
night,
a warrior.
Rick gets rained on. Next morning, he manages to catch a bug.
It's raining. Fucking tilt your head up, Rick. Open your mouth, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking dipshit.
No, he's tough. He doesn't even want to drink the rain, dude.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb. I mean, if he eats the bug, he should get some of the rain.
Yeah. If it's raining, I mean, I get that they can't give you water, but, I mean, take fucking advantage of the situation, dude.
That's God giving you water. That's God wanting you to continue. Take the hint, dude.
This is the dumbest thing you've ever said. The makeup they use on this, though.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Dude looks... I was like, ugh.
Because by this
fucking
point...
zombie.
Yeah, he's peeling hardcore. He finally has a hallucination. A word that I had to Google and thesaurus. Like, I could not figure out the fucking word I wanted to use. I was like, mental mirage. Seeing vision. Like, it... Hallucination did not come to me.
Daymare.
No, that's a wet dream.
There was a Tim and Eric sketch that had... Who's the guy that plays MacGruber?
Will Forte?
Yeah, it's got Will Forte, and it's just him, like, leaning on a desk. He starts screaming, and it pops up and just says, Daymare. It's just fucking funny, dude.
Yeah. Fortin with Will. That's an S tier Tim and Eric sketch. Hallucination is what Rick has of Yoshida, like fucking coming up, striking him with his sword. He finally loses it. He starts screaming. It's finally time for him to be dug out. Rick says, 5 days. 5 days. How long did you make it, Sensei?
5 days.
5 days.
Oh, that would have been so cool if they said 5-day rentals.
Dan, you got to get that screenshot for the promo. I don't know if you already took a note about that. Good,
got it made.
Good find on the heavy metal promo, by the way. I thought that was a solid sell to pull and solid use of the 5DR logo.
I thought for a second, I'm like, maybe it's a little much, but I was like, fuck it. We're losing like followers, so whatever.
Yeah, let's burn this thing to the
yeah,
ground.
Yeah,
dude.
we're on the way down. I don't even know if Kron needs to announce a new category. I think we break the glass. We know what the plan is for the last category. Let's just call it.
That's so boring.
Sometime later, Rick is training. He's in the crew, man. He's made it. We don't really know how much further this is, but what we do see is that they're letting Rick use fucking throwing stars at this point.
This is the
trust.
Yeah.
This is the extent of his training. He practices with wooden swords, and he throws 3 ninja stars.
Hey, dude, he cleans a mean board.
Yeah, man.
He seems like the most inept person to be doing the end of the movie.
I do think that the movie would be improved if they're already giving us Kyoto 1945 and LA 1982. I do think that it's fine to say when he arrives, it's June, right? And then he gets out of the hole in August, and then cut to that this is October or something.
Or you just even throw in a 3-minute montage of him, like, you know, some guy being like, yeah, you can slice better now and shit, you know?
Give him a beard.
Yeah. Give him a beard.
Put that fucking mop top into a mop top knot.
Mm-hmm.
He's been summoned by the sensei. Akiko translates for us. Yoshida has challenged Hideo to a duel once and for all. What we haven't really talked about much is that these swords are referred to as the equals. They are destined to be a set, to be together. Each brother has one. Each of them wants to have both. This
It's
duel.
kind of like us.
Huh?
We're destined to be together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wanted all the hustler cards.
That's what our centuries.
You could have
battles
kept them
will
had
be.
you not did your little Kron strut. Here you go. We would have been none the wiser.
I wanted you guys to choose to give them to me.
Oh, okay. So we failed the test, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I gave you 2 swords, and then Kron just smashes that with hustler cards.
All right. Now, part of the rules of this duel is that each fighter can bring 4 of their followers to said duel, and Sensei wants Rick to be one of the 4.
That's how many we've lost on Instagram.
4 followers?
Yeah.
Would you guys?
That's half of our folly.
Would you guys invite me to your duel?
Yeah,
To, like, kill you?
because I know you play
No,
dirty.
like if they're like, "Hey, you can bring 4 dudes with you," would you bring me?
You're 2
You're
of the 3
invited
people
because
I
I'm
know.
fighting you.
Oh,
I don't know why you got to twist it, dude. I was trying to have a heart-to-heart here. I was gonna say I'd bring you to my duel.
Yeah, I don't want me at a duel.
you know,
I'm more of a Barry Lyndon duel. You guys are like samurai stuff.
there are
Very
like weird rules with the emotion here. Like I can be emotional to Dan, and I think he like weirdly accepts it. You can't be emotional to Dan. It confuses him. Dan
just
can be.
wanted-
Dan really can't be emotional or emotional at all. So when he does, we know it's a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And to
I
be
just
fair,
was-
you're not receptive to my emotion, so I guess it somewhat balances out.
I just wanted us to all be duel buddies.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we're gonna fight. I mean,
In a Barry Lyndon that sort of duel, you have a second. Is that what they call it? The guy that loads your weapons and shit.
There are people at the Barry Lyndon duel though watching.
yeah, and they're like, this is so stupid.
They had to be invited by somebody.
Yeah, there was zero like other entertainment.
Should we
In
bring
that
that,
era.
back though? Like, yo, duel.
I would be hyped to go to a duel, dude.
But it has to be with those guns. Like, it can't be like newer weapons.
Like old school dueling pistols.
yeah,
I think or swords. Swords would be fine.
I think it should just be open hand slaps only.
Have you seen those like slap fight clips? Like
Yeah.
UFC, it's like 2 dudes just smacking the hell out of each other.
Yeah. And they chalk the shit out of it so it looks good in slow-mo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think that?
I think our podcast, like humanity, is on a downtrend.
Do you think the
Did
most
great the
annoying,
last 2 months?
most annoying part of a duel would be like now you got to get your invite list together? Like you can't even focus on the hatred and the. You're like, oh, who the fuck am I going to invite?
Well, what if somebody who gets killed in a duel is like part of your group, and you're like, fuck, now I gotta find another guy.
Well, the other thing, too, about those duels is they were meant to settle conflicts. So you might have, like, ethically been wrong. You might have really been wrong, but you won the duel, and that means that you're then right.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think, is what is, like, kind of fucked up about it. It's like these two guys have a disagreement. Like,
Didn't
Yeah,
I
I mean-
win a duel against Kron?
that was many cold opens ago, dude. And I think you still picked the fucking puppet movie. You played yourself.
Yeah, who won in the long term, dude?
It was a bit.
Doesn't the guy in Barry Lyndon, like, he doesn't even die though, right? He gets like a fucking infection or something from dueling.
No, I think the guy dies.
I thought it was like a slow death though. Like he got wounded and then he he dies over like 2 or 3 months.
I don't know. That's the movie for my next category. So.
I would imagine that's probably how most of them died. Like if they didn't get shot in the head or shot in the heart.
Yeah.
They probably died. That or because it was a fucking inept surgeon that kept going in there and making things worse, trying to pull the bullet out.
Yeah, you took a gut shot and some guy put 15 leeches on you.
Yeah. Well, he was shot in the left leg, so obviously we need to bleed him in the right leg.
There's some leeches on him. I'll cut off his leg.
All right, Rick is incredibly honored to be part of Sensei's crew here. And Sensei's like, don't fucking thank me, dude. I want them to see what I've done to their thief. Cut to the meet just before the duel. So Yoshida and his crew, they wait in the trees. They're kind of up on this hill. And there's this gravel road that Hideo's limo and his car, like cars full of goons.
Would you call that a grassy knoll?
Oh, shit, dude.
Hideo gets out and he's like, hey, brother, I ain't fucking fighting you, man. I got no intention of dueling.
Are you presenting a Rick as the second shooter theory?
Third.
Is that why he missed? Because he sucks?
Mm-hmm.
He saw a bird and...
Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't even hit my target, I guess, huh?
I seen who it was.
It's that fucking fish in my stomach. It fucking jostled me.
I think it's growing.
I was supposed to take out the driver, but I guess I hit the president or something. I don't know.
I don't care about honor, says Hideo. Now Yoshida, he refuses to just give over the sword. And Hideo just takes off like a fucking bitch. Sends his goons to fucking basically hold up Hideo's crew up at gunpoint. Hand over the sword. Rick pulls out a knife, holds it up to Yoshida's throat. What the fuck? He warns the other three to step back. He says, all right, nobody's fucking dying. All right, we're just going to hand over the fucking sword. He orders Sensei to give the sword over. Now, Ando, he's the main goon, kind of leading everybody. He sends a few guys up. He's like, well, you're not the dumb schmuck that I thought you were, huh? Now, as these two goons get closer, they go for the sword. Rick just fucking slices one of them with the knife. Yoshido gets what he's fucking throwing down here. He slices a guy. One of the goons gets a fucking throwing star from one of the other guys. Rick and the team take off into the woods. That night, Yoshida meditates, but Rick keeps interrupting. He's like, we can't fight guns with swords, all right? We were lucky today. They will not play by your rules. These people will do what you tell them, and you will get them killed. And Sensei, is it worth it?
Makes sense.
Yoshida finally responds to this by telling Akiko to tell Rick what happened. And what happened is the story that we saw at the beginning of this movie. Okay? So this old man that was doing the handover, this was Yoshida and Hideo's father. He was passing the swords, passing the family over to Yoshida. And the young boy with the glasses, that was Toshio. He was charged with doing the handover. It was Hideo that fucking lost his shit, ran up, grabbed the swords, and basically disabled, paralyzed Toshio forever. Now, in this fucking chaos, Hideo's trying to run away, but he's in the army. So a bunch of his guys that are there for the ceremony are fucking armed. And in this chaos, one of Hideo's guys shoots Hideo's father. Kind of fucked up here that Yoshida went to the father and not to his kid, who just got fucking sliced here. They kind of blow by that.
You gotta learn to be tough.
Yeah.
You know?
But this is how Hideo ended up with both swords. As we know, he lost one of them in the war. Cut to today. Yoshida says that Rick just can't understand, all right, that these swords have belonged to the family for generations. But he explains to Rick, I will teach you why this is important. Now, Kron, we do get a little advancement here because we see that Rick, he can now cut bamboo too.
Wow. I guess he's ready for a duel with a samurai master at this point.
Rick has a nice chat with Akiko on a nice stormy night. All right. She basically explains, I know my father always wanted a boy. That's why I learned all this stuff. He had Toshio, but unfortunately it wasn't in the cards. Rick calls her out, basically says, you want the equals, don't you? She says, fuck, sometimes I just wish these things would disappear. And she thinks now, I think my dad wants you to have the equals. Rick's like, nah, fuck, no.
Yeah, you've been here all of...
You don't mean that, really?
3 months? Why not you?
Mm-hmm. And then she turned around and fucking insults his ass by saying, well, there's history in Zen that giving the greatest gifts to the lowest of creatures. And Rick, we know he's suffered many concussions, doesn't really get this. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds pretty.
Akiko's trying to call it a night, and then there's a weird exchange here because Rick tries to give her a kiss. She kind of, she asserts no. Because you're not supposed to do that.
Do what?
Kiss ladies like that, dude.
Nah, dude, when you want to kiss, you just get in there.
All right. Rick is on guard.
Smooch.
He's approached by Go. Go comes up screaming for Sensei. Rick's like, what? Hey, Go, what's up? Go says, fucking Akiko, she left. Fucking Kubo let her just walk right out the gate. Rick's like, what the fuck? Sensei said nobody leaves. God damn it. Rick runs up to Kubo. Now, Kubo has not spoken the entire fucking movie. Obviously doesn't understand English. Rick just comes up and he's like, you dumb son of a bitch. Why'd you let her? Starts knocking Kubo around. So Rick and Kubo start sparring. I mean, they're fighting.
Yeah, and Kubo was still like outclassing him. Why didn't we bring Kubo to the final duel?
Not as much as the first fight. But
I guess
still,
it's slightly
still working
less.
him a little bit. Yeah.
Give him some credit, Kron.
He's not easily beaten, okay? Now, while these two were fucking fighting, Go walks over to this cart, pulls over the top. There's two fucking assassins hidden inside, man. They hop up. They shoot two of these other guards. They start running around the fucking compound. Go goes for the fucking sword. Jiro, the hero that he is, runs in and tries to stop him, but Go knocks him out. Yoshida gets alerted by this point. He takes out one of the shooters and he catches Go. Without thinking, just fucking slashes him. Rick comes up. He takes out the second of the shooters with a throwing star. Yoshida declares that Go betrayed them. Rick runs to Jiro, who is barely alive. Rick tries to console him. Akiko says that...
I wrote in my notes, if they kill Jiro in this scene, I will give this movie 0 stars.
I thought they were going to.
I thought they were too. I mean, he's fucked up when Rick gets back to him.
He's a warrior, dude.
Kiko says that they're going to take care of him, and Rick's just like, yeah. You all are crazy, and I'm just as crazy as you are. He fucking runs off. Later, Rick is chilling in a hotel room.
Just as fast as his gangly legs can carry him.
He's chilling in a hotel room. He's watching some local Japanese television. He's having a beer.
He runs like Frankenstein.
How much of this is just payback for my Reindeer Games hate? Because I don't think I was as hard on Reindeer Games as you are on Rick.
I'm being a little hard on Rick, but you know me, I've watched a lot of movies with bad acting, so don't let it cloud your judgment for my final score of this thing.
Akiko knocks on the door. Rick, the nice guy that he is, immediately asks about Jiro and asks about Yoshida. Kiko says that she's there to ask Rick back, okay? And Yoshida did not send me. Rick instead asked her to stay with him. and we fade to fucking, baby. Dan, I know you're keeping this list. Go ahead and throw a Kiko on top tier 5DR babes, by the way.
Hawaiian.
I would say easily top 10, potentially top 5.
How about those boobs just soaking in that candlelight?
Solid boobs. Solid boobage.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's for a while. Like, I'm like, oh.
It's substantially longer than I thought it was. As I'm sitting here typing, I'm writing out boob, 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 because I write boob for every frame.
Yeah.
I was like, God
typing with one hand, huh?
Yeah, I should have just fucking did a computer program or something, so I could just hold down B.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Frankenheimer just lets them bake in that golden candlelight for
Well, I mean,
a while.
Thank you, Frankenheimer. You did something right.
Yeah, finally, after 3 of your movies, we found the one thing you're good at.
Hey, Frankenheimer gave us boobage in every movie that we covered.
He did.
And here's the thing. This is the least amount of boobage, but the highest quality boobage.
Mm-hmm.
Let that be a reminder to you future filmmakers out there, all right? Now, Kiko is taking Rick around Kyoto. They're taking in the sights. And I believe what they come across is a funeral procession. Because this street that they're on is fucking packed with people. There's some guys carrying what looks like a casket or some sort of, throne-ish sort of thing. While they're trying to navigate the crowd, Rick and Akiko, they get separated. Rick starts freaking out a bit. He's yelling her name. And he gets approached by fucking none of that fucking dastardly Ando.
This scene has all the excitement of the 2 mile per hour race through the streets of San Francisco's Chinatown, dude.
I didn't see any vase being fucking broken in the,
it's a slow moving tragedy.
Now Ando tells Rick that they got her, all right? And Hideo's going to hold her, and you know what the fucking ransom is, all right? Akiko for the sword. Rick reports to Yoshida, and Yoshida says that he's going to go alone. He refuses anybody to help him. He fucking grabs his sword, takes his bow, fucking bows to some of his men when he leaves. Fucking Jiro, fucking sweetheart. Tells the sensei he's going with him. Sensei kind of cracks a smile. He's like, nah, man, you got to take care of the home, okay? We get to the Hideo compound. God damn it. It's fucking on, baby.
Rick showed up with traditional samurai weaponry of an M16.
He picks it up along the way. He MacGyvers it, Kron. All right. We see that Akiko's being held inside Hideo's office.
Got my samurai sword, got my Converse on.
Mm-hmm. My dungarees, my M16.
Let me spray some Aquanet.
I'm ready to honor the Bushido code.
It's not a cultural appropriation. He's riding the line. All right, we're going to cruise through this because it's just fucking action, baby. Yoshida takes out a bunch of guards with his bow. He's sneaking into this compound. One of my favorite things here is one of these security guards that gets hit in the chest with a bow does a fucking Michael Jackson toe thing, like hops up on, which looks fucking great. And then there's a guy on this little walkway, like this bridge, and the stuntman, he gets the bow in the chest, or the arrow in the chest, and his action is supposed to be to grab the arrow, and they kept this in, like this take, but he goes to grab, and he's like 6 inches below the arrow, and then he has to, like he misses the mark, and then has to correct himself before he falls into the water. One of the cool things here is there's like a guy that's like 2 stories up, kind of on this walkway, and Yoshida shoots him with an arrow that's got a rope on it and just fucking pulls his ass over.
Mm-hmm.
He takes about 6 guys out. The alarm is finally raised. Hideo is warned, Hideo says he's ready. Right on fucking time. So now it steps up a little bit. The guards come out with machine guns. But this does not stop Sensei from getting inside. He takes out 2 or 3 of them. And then a cool little thing here, like he gets in a door by taking the doorknob apart. Like the camera pans down a little bit to just see the parts of the door knob, which I thought was fucking cool. As opposed to some like, this is the 80s, so everybody could open a door with a credit card. But it wouldn't be believable that Yoshida has a credit card. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of a samurai / engineer.
All right, when he gets inside, he makes his way into this beautiful fucking auditorium. And he gets up behind the stage, and he's kind of behind this decorative wall next to a piano. 2 guards come in. They look around. They don't see anything. They go to leave. But Sensei fucking baits them. Hits a little single piano key. Dong. And they turn around. They walk closer to the piano. They see an arrow stuck in this wall. This is just a fucking diversion, man. Takes these guys out. He opens the front door but gets spotted by this larger group of guards. They come in after him. Reveal Rick there in the auditorium. He picks up one of these guards' M16s and just starts blasting these dudes as they come through this door. Sensei is like, fucking cool. All right, we're doing it. They start running around. They're doing hand motions and shit to each other. They start working their way up the fucking compound. Rick runs out of rounds, though, at one point. And why the guard doesn't shoot him, I don't fully... It's movie logic, right? And he's just like slowly approaching. Sensei saves him, though. Rick and the Sensei, they make their way through this large corridor. Yoshida uses his last arrow. Dumps his bow. Dozens of guards coming up against him now. And finally, Rick gets some revenge here because the guy that stabbed him in the back at the fish market tries to corner Rick as he comes back around. Rick fucking takes this dude out quick, man. Counters him, little fucking Aikido throw, stabs him. Cool scene here with these elevators. Yoshida runs up to one of the elevators. 2 guards come out. He quickly takes them out. He gets in the elevator, goes up. 2 guards try to go into the other elevator, but Rick's waiting for him, takes them out. Ishida's up on the next floor. The other elevator opens up, but it's Rick. They kind of jab at each other real quick and then realize, okay, cool. We see that Hideo is now changed for battle. He's in his traditional garb. He grabs his sword. He starts heading out with Ando. Last little sequence up against some guards. We see that Sensei's got a fucking bag full of caltrops. Like those jacks-looking things. Throws those down a corridor. They fucking start hopping around. Rick just fucking unloads another magazine. Is that the thread through this entire fucking category? Is the grape lady? I fucking love it. All right. I said it was on, but it's really fucking on because Hideo confronts our 2 heroes in the hall finally, all right? Time to duel. And they are going to duel in this waiting area.
Get it on.
Hideo is very confident. He orders that the alarm to be canceled, declares that he not be disturbed. Ando has Akiko hostage, gun to her head. Ishida and Hideo, they square off. Now, the little area that they're in, multiple tables, like little coffee tables, really uncomfortable looking chairs. They go at it. It looks fucking great, man.
This should have been the final scene, right? Like these 2 guys finally doing this fight.
Okay, this is where you get into like the white savior stuff, right?
Yeah.
I would have been totally content with it ending here.
I think it would have been a better ending had it been these 2 guys fighting it out.
But there are some things that are so fucking awesome that come up. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to trade those for this. I don't know. And it also sort of mirrors the original ceremony in a way, what we could talk about, like when we get there.
So you want to keep the stapler fight?
Yes, dude.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Hold on. So they go back and forth. Big thing here is it seems pretty square, right? Nobody really seems to be, dominating the other. But Yoshido does get Hideo sort of knocked over this coffee table. Hideo kind of attacks by kind of lifting the coffee table up to try to charge. Yoshido kind of overpowers him, counters that. Hideo loses his sword for a second, gets pushed up against this wall, and there's these blinds. Yoshido almost has kind of like a killing stroke, but Hideo uses the blinds, kind of throws them up at Yoshida. But what we cut to is fucking Ando is like, I'm fucking done. He's grown impatient. He throws Akiko up against the wall and then shoots Sensei right in the back, dude. Hideo instantly sees his brother, shot but not beat by his fucking hand, runs over to Ando, takes his fucking head off, dude.
Fuck yeah. Looks great.
It looks incredible.
And it's such a
Quick.
It's such a low budget effect, but just seeing a dummy head roll across the ground is fucking fun.
Yes. And that's what I mean about it sort of mirroring the ceremony, right? That it was one of Hideo's guys that accidentally shot his own father. I like that mirroring. I like the anger that Hideo feels in that moment. It feels truthful. So Rick and Akiko, they run over to Yoshida. He's still alive. He's still kind of crouched and up. It's unfortunate it had to end like this, Hideo says. But you can't get out of this fucking building alive. Give me the sword. Rick unloads his rifle, picks up the sword. Come and get it, asshole. As you wish, says Hideo. And now our music picks back up. So the music was totally dropped during the Hideo and Yoshida fight. I thought that was a great call. So the music comes back in. This fight goes on. Now, Rick is being kind of pushed by Hideo. He's the one backing up. They slash at each other real quick. Now, Rick kind of retreats into this side office. Hideo keeps coming. He uses a light at one point, try to blind Rick. And Rick just basically gets worked for the first part of this office. Hideo's just pushing him backwards constantly.
There's a lot of office furniture being used as weaponry.
But Rick is a little bit more agile than Hideo, so he's able to kind of roll over tables, get out of the way. At one point, like an office chair gets stuck between them, and they both sort of strike through it, and they lose their swords for a second, and now it becomes hand-to-hand. We know Rick can kind of do that, and he can take a hit. So it's unarmed, flurry of blows for a second. They both finally get their swords back, and I think this is a cool sequence. There's a shelf, like an open cabinet that's like 2 feet from this glass. Rick kind of works his way in between that glass and that shelf. Hideo's on the other side. They're stabbing each other or trying to stab each other through this shit. Like stuff's getting knocked around. I think Scott Glenn moves incredible in this sequence. Say what you will about it. It looks, man, I was on my fucking feet. I was so into this. All right, they get on the other side of this. Hideo gets Rick on a fucking desk, pushing down on him. Rick looks over, sees a fucking stapler, opens this bad boy up, pop, 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 hits Hideo like 10 times in the face. Hideo backs up.
It's like what Macaulay Culkin would revert to in Home Alone.
It's another Steve-O trick.
Mm-hmm.
I think Steve-O watched the challenge.
Could be. Oh, hey.
Now, while Hideo is backed off, he's like 6-7 feet away, kind of fucking touching his face. He's pissed off. Rick has there's like a typing machine, right? Like a word processor on this other little desk. Rick slices that power cord in half. When Hideo comes in to strike, he dodges that, and then Rick uses that like charged cord up against Hideo's sword, fucking zaps his ass. Hideo backs up again. Rick takes off, kind of back towards where they came in to the office, and there's a small cubicle wall. Rick dives behind that. Hideo stabs into the wall. Sword is stuck. Rick pops back up. Slice. Fucking right on the top of Hideo's head. Split right down the middle.
Splits it, dude. This looks fucking great, too.
Yeah, you kind of pan over and see some spilt chili.
Ugh. I love the fact that they just didn't do another head chop. They're like, well, we just did a head chop 3 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if he came down like this? Rick returns to Yoshida. The equals now together. He places them before his sensei. Yoshida nods in appreciation. The camera pans across a grateful and quiet Kyoto. The end.
Don't you think he should have had a little button on the end, like, guess he found out how the stapler works or something like that?
Rick?
Yeah.
Oh, like some sort of trashy, like, action one-liner?
Mm-hmm.
Like if he had come out and Akiko was like, where's Hideo? And he was he got stuck with something.
Yeah. Well, you could have just set up a scene earlier too where like Akiko doesn't know how to make the pages go together or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. Where's Hideo? He had to split.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be good too.
But we don't want to ruin this somber moment of the equals being together. Sensei alive. Rick proving honor. You know he's going to see those boobs again.
Oh, are they in the closing credits that I didn't get either?
It's a little tag after the credits.
Shit.
Nick Fury shows up and
recruits her.
Yeah. Guys, that was a challenge, 1982. Directed by John Frankenheimer. Stunts by one Steve Seagal.
Steve.
Dan, hit me with that research.
The Challenge from 1982, directed by John Frankenheimer himself, was released July 23rd of 1982. I could not find a budget on this movie. The box office is anywhere from 2.9 million to 3.6 million. That's between two websites. At the cinema that week, you could catch one of Dan's favorite movies growing up, Zapped, with Scott Baio. And also, premiering that week was The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. This was the first lead role featuring Scott Glenn. Give him a break, Kron. Come on. Much of the movie was filmed on the grounds of the ancient Sokochuji Temple, which has remained unchanged for 700 years, gentlemen. We covered Steven Seagal. This is the third and final collaboration of composer Jerry Goldsmith and director John Frankenheimer. Their earlier movies were Seconds, 1966, and 7 Days in May, 1964. Which is decent. Check it out if you can. One of at least 5 films shot during the 1970s through the 1990s, which featured characters being buried with only their head shown above ground. We got this movie. We have Caligula from 1979.
Oh, we gotta do Caligula.
We have Ted Danson and Creepshow from 1982.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
We got Brian Brown and 1989's Sweet Talker. We got Motel Hell in 1980. And David Bowie and Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence from 1983. This is the first feature film in 3 years from Mr. Frankenheimer. His previous film was Prophecy from 1979. This kind of was a down year for down time.
Yeah. Real booze problem on this one, though, huh?
Yeah, he did go to rehab after this was completed because he was drinking on set at the time.
Okay. You just need a little pick-me-up at work, you know? It's not that bad.
Well, he did realize, like, oh, shit, this has got out of hand. So he did go to get some help there.
You know, even Don Draper eventually got help. So,
I mean, who's the... Clearly not in the Sam Peckinpah School of Filmmaking, this guy.
It worked for a few years.
I mean...
But that's all I got.
This is a pretty cohesive and streamlined story. Like, he delivered a pretty good product, even hammered. So, guys, let's get into it. Rate my letterbox, shall we?
Rate my box.
Take me up inside.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Dan a 3.0.
Kron, I'm giving you a 2.5. Bonesy?
3.0 for both of you.
All right, guys, I will go first. The Challenge, directed by John Frankenheimer. Let's talk about what's good up top. I think a lot of the location stuff looks really amazing. I do think the story is pretty decent. I mean, you got Jiro doing the most, easily the best character in this film. Pure of heart, ultimate warrior. To touch on a little bit of the bad, you got Rick. To call his acting wooden would be insulting to Wood. I don't think the guy is very good. When we get to his training montage, the things that you see him do the most are drink too much one night and then be buried in the dirt for a long time. When we get to the end of this movie, I do not believe that he can defeat someone who has trained in this their entire life. I think a simple montage would have fixed a ton of the issues with the pacing of this thing. All that being said, I've watched a lot of bad movies in my days with bad acting. It doesn't really bump me that much. I think you get some great special effects. The head chop at the end, the head being split open after that. There's like a lot of good, fun action. The movie is okay. I gave Reindeer Games a 2.5. I do think this is a better movie. I'm going to land at a 3.0 on The Challenge.
Gentlemen, The Challenge from 1982. I will go to bat for Rick. I like this performance. I think...
Unbelievable.
Hear me out. I like the bullheaded, out of place, opinionated American that he plays here. I think that the fight at the end makes it's a 360, baby. Because yes, I enjoy the fact that this movie does not make him look like he has learned all the samurai stuff and is now a fucking expert like every other fucking white dude that goes and trains with samurais. Because that fight between him and our heel there, he is just trying to stay alive. It goes from traditional sword fight to straight up fist fight, which it's like, oh yeah, he's got the advantage here, to back to swords. He's using a stapler. He's using anything that he can just to fucking keep this guy at bay till he has a chance to fucking land a kill shot. And I think that works. We got some comedy here. I think that works as well. We got some great goons. We got some great like little side characters here, the henchmen and shit like that. What else do we got?
Boobs.
We got boobs. That's good too. But I think I like this. I mean, I had a good time with it. It slows down. There are some points in this movie where it kind of slows down and you're like, all right, there's a few of those. But the squibs, when we get them, I think are great. The fighting that we get, I think is great. Like the head split is fucking awesome and the decapitation is awesome. This is a 3.5, man. This is a good time. It has some moments where it slows down, but yeah, you could easily cut maybe like 20 minutes and this would be a pretty fucking fun movie. Yeah, 3.5 for me. I had a good time.
All right, Dan, I'm grateful that you went to bat for Rick. I think the movie does right by the character. We know that he is feisty, he is scrappy. That is his power. He is hard-headed, but he knows how to use that to his advantage. And I do appreciate that he is quite sloppy continually throughout the movie, and it's more about chipping away at that sloppiness with a slight little bit of discipline learned. I do think, could you streamline this a little bit, give a little bit more montage to show his skills going? But I find it a little bit more interesting because you have this added element of is he sticking honorable to the sensei or is he going to chase the cash? The 5 days in the hole, I think, does a lot for me buying into it. I think also having Ando as like a mirror of, we talked about that he was an American guy who also felt out of place in Japan, as he mentions in the van. Like he doesn't quite understand like the deep-seated history of it. On second watch, I didn't really feel like this thing slowed enough for me to be bored. And the last 20 minutes, man, my wife came down, I think right around the stapler, and she was cracking up. And I was like, don't fucking laugh. The last 20 minutes have been fucking incredible. It would have been so easy to just make him John Wick this whole thing, right? And you go, this doesn't make any sense. I don't buy it. But I think they find a great balance here. I had a lot of fun. This was easily my fucking favorite of the Frankenheimers that we've covered on this. But I also I want to acknowledge the white savior thing. Yes, we've grown past that stuff. We're getting a little bit better. But although James Cameron's doing whatever the fuck he can to just really hammer that home. Kron, wood is a very valuable resource, okay? It holds its shape, but it's also malleable and flexible, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's what I think Scott Glenn does in this. He holds the hard-headedness, he holds the character, but he's malleable to the culture and the honor as he learns it. So I don't think he should take that as an insult, saying that he's as interesting as Wood. That's.
To be fair, I was saying he's less interesting than Wood.
4.0 for Bonesy.
All right, guys. I think this thing's going to end up with an average rating from the three of us of 3.0.
No?
Where's this?
Should be a 3.5, right?
Oh, you're right. 3.5. That's why I couldn't find it in the list anywhere. The challenge would end up at number 55 on the big list. This thing would be right above Demons 2 and right below Shakedown.
What a triple feature.
Kron, you got a 0.5.
Yeah, I was way off. Fuck.
It's a tough one. At the end of this round, I would be tied with Bones for first place with a 3.0 or 3.5. Dan, right behind us, 3.0. Of course, Murph and Chris both have a 0.5 each.
Speaking of Murph, thanks for coming on and kickstarting the Erection, films of John Frankenheimer. Dan, thank you for the category. I know I gave you some shit about feeling like you boxed me in there, but God damn it, I was able to find the challenge and I wouldn't have watched it otherwise. Thanks, buddy. But it is the end of a category, and traditionally, the old ways, we must play Eat, Fuck, Kill. Kron, why don't you go first?
All right, dudes. It's a pretty easy decision for me. I'm going to eat John Frankenheimer Seconds. Truly a movie I don't think I would have watched if not for this podcast, and I very much enjoyed it. I'm going to fuck the challenge, hoping I get the same set of tits as that movie had. And sadly, I'm going to kill my own. Goodbye, Reindeer Games. You gave it your best shot. You didn't quite live up.
That's got to be yours, Dan, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to play any Reindeer Games there. That's the exact same order I am as well.
I'm pretty close. Only thing I'm switching, I'm gonna eat the challenge and I'll fuck Seconds. I think my scores represent that fairly. And with that was Erection 2, the films of John Frankenheimer. Dan, get us out of here, bro.
Hey, five.
Kind of a revenge category when you think about it, bringing something back that we've already done.
It's a whole different director.
Well, you should have added a lot of slashes and
it was also
semicolons.
It was his own category that he sequelized.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't bastardize another category.
Erection is open to all hosts on 5-Day Rentals. Please indulge us.
Maybe
5D Army.
Season 3.
If you are, we got to talk about that, by the way.
It's coming up, yeah.
5D Army, if you are on or not Instagram, fucking Spotify and iTunes, rate, review, and follow the show. If you're on the socials, follow us on Instagram, Threads, and Letterboxd. But if you really want to mess with us, there is a Discord invite on every episode that drops every Wednesday of 5-Day Rentals. So get on that. Join us. If you got any questions, concerns, comments, you want Kron to send you a singing telegram, please email us at 5dayrentalspodcast@gmail.com.
I have a comment.
Fuck.
We almost made it, dude. We were so close.
Yes, Steve.
I'm standing right now.
No, you're not. You're sitting in a chair. You can't just say that.
Don't tell him he's not standing. Just say, yes, I see. You're standing.
He's not standing.
I'm clearly standing just because my hands are comfortably resting on my abdominal muscles.
What happened? Was all your idea in the challenge?
I would say that not only did I coordinate the phenomenal action, but also the character.
The character? Huh.
Yes.
How did you feel about the automatic weapons being
There's a
used?
piece of me in every character in the challenge.
Even Rick?
Mostly Rick.
Oh, yeah, I could see that, actually.
Is this your story?
It's a chapter in my long history.
Yeah, it's almost like this guy moved from Detroit to Tokyo for a few minutes and then claimed he was from there, I think.
I did last 7 days in the hole.
Whoa. That's pretty good.
And I did.
Did you have shade?
I did eat the rat. I didn't need shade because obviously my hair is thick and full.
Mm-hmm.
Are you using Hims?
Are they a sponsor this week?
Yeah.
No. Hims is derived from my saliva.
Saliva is just blood, right?
Saliva is essence. Blood is essence. Your logic is sound.
Dan, you might want to go to the doctor.
No, really, saliva is just blood.
I know an acupuncturist I can refer you to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please help Dan.
I'm telling you, saliva is blood. Look it up.
We're going to see if Steve can start a GoFundMe for you.
It sounds as though Dan is half past dead.
Yeah, I think so.
It can. All right.
How
What
red
else
is
you
your
got?
saliva, Dan?
It's not. Your body doesn't produce the red, but it's your blood.
I believe
It's
your
basically blood.
immune system may be under siege to dark territory.
I got two people coming at me at the same time here.
You will not see
Steven,
me coming at you.
There's a fire down below, and we gotta go. Okay.
Okay. Well, the trial was a disgrace.
We don't talk to terrorists
Who's trial?
on this show.
Hunter Biden's.
Oh God, we
Wait.
gotta go. We gotta go. All right, we're running out of time
I
here.
didn't really want to do this, but I saw the glasses, so
Thank you, Steve. Mr. Siegel, appreciate all your work on the challenge. It was an enjoyable movie. You did good there.
namaste.
Namaste.
Hit us with one of your songs
Isn't he
on
Russian?
the way out.
Oh, you want to hear about the punani?
I sure do.
All right, I'm up to my ass in fish here.
I drink a bunch of rum and then make you come, honey. Namaste.
Come on.
Oh, ow. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 5 Day Rentals podcast. This is the after shower segment of the episode. We
Dan-
just finished.
Dan, I appreciate you blowing us off with the leaf blower. But maybe not use the one filled with Kron's piss.
He needs to stop pissing in everything.
It's purifying.
No,
You can drink it in a survival situation.
you can.
Not if I'm buried. It's useless.
I'll pee on you if you're buried. You know why? Because we're friends. I want to help you.
Sorry, Kron, I came in early on that one.
We have just wrapped up another category. It was Erection, the films of John Frankenheimer. And guys, last week Bones said, I feel like I'm kind of being painted into a corner here. And you know what? I would agree. Frankenheimer was a limiting category. Before that, Puppets, a pool of about 50 films. But still, I would agree. Pretty limiting. And I think we need to lean a little less Frankenheimer, a little more Pete Kidman. Let's open these categories back up. Guys, are you ready?
Yeah, I mean,
Our next category is... It's a little bit of a long title, Dan.
God
So
damn
I know
it.
you're going to hate me. It is You're So Vain. I bet you think this pod is about you. And here it is, guys. We are celebrating the Vanity Project filmmaker. Your movie must meet 2 criteria. Number 1, it must be directed by and starring the same individual. Criteria number 2, no Pinocchio movies.
So
What do you got?
What?
You want what? You want the director to also be the star?
Your director must also be the star of the film. Directed by and starring the same individual. Why are you complaining?
I haven't complained yet.
Why are you groaning?
I haven't thought of one yet. These are personal groans.
You're going to have to do a little research.
I always fucking do, man. All right.
Do you think this is an open enough category?
Not at all.
I feel like once you start digging, you'll find stuff.
Frankenheimer directed 50 movies.
Okay, there were 50 puppet movies. I think if you just look up Vanity Project films, that will probably be a good indication of where to start looking on this thing.
Where are we starting?
Guys, at the end of season 1, we watched a movie together.
God damn it.
That movie was Tough Guys Don't Dance. And I think we were all a little impressed with one key element of that, and his name is Wings Hauser. We are going to the year 1991, and we will be watching The Art of Dying, directed by and starring Wings Hauser. I believe this should be available for free on like Plex streaming. It has not had a lot of home video releases, so I will make a VHS rip of this available. Guys, we're going back to Wings. You should be pumped.
I am. I'm silently punching the air.
The Art of Dying.
That's correct, Dan. I mean, if somebody's, feeling funny, I think there's another Wings Hauser directed movie, so get them both.
Hollywood Starlets, Hollywood Dreams, 1,000 Ways to Die. All right.
Guys, I think there's a lot of territory here. I think the category is open enough. I'm sure there's some. I mean, we did watch one in season 1. Steven Seagal directed On Deadly Ground. I think there's more in this than you're initially thinking of.
I have no issue with the category. I think my issue with the category is the no Pinocchio movies. It seems like an unnecessary.
He's going to say that for every category that he introduces now.
Probably.
I thought you were going to say no Neil Breen, but
no, I would love to watch a Neil Breen movie, dude.
God damn it.
You kidding me? And that guy has, out of 50 credits, he's got 38 of them. So, yeah, sure. You know what? The more credits, the better.
All right.
I guess.
wow, okay.
I guess that's it.
I think it's
I've
gonna
never
be
seen
fun.
this.
Yeah,
So.
I've never even heard of it. So
You know what? I haven't seen it either. I got the VHS tape. I ripped it. I said, we'll watch this at some point. Could be complete shit. Who knows? We're going to find out together.
Kron, I would like to ask, have you just completely reduced yourself to one watch on all these movies?
Yeah, for the most part. I watched Seconds twice because we had 2 extra weeks.
I wonder if that's affecting rankings.
I still gave the movie a 3.
No, I understand, but
At least it was one of mine you watched twice. Cool.
I gave Dan's a 4. I think Seconds is the best one.
okay. I didn't mean specifically just this category, just in general.
What else do you think I've rated too low?
We'll discuss that on the Rewind 11.
Maybe that's a rewind discussion. Because I think maybe I'm putting too much work into this.
I watched twice. You're not.
Okay.
He's not up to our standard.
I mean, how hard can the plot of The Art of Dying, directed by Wings Hauser, be?
It's not about the plot.
I bet it's deep, bro.
What
I think
day
I'm-
do you
I'm
typically
watching-
watch your 5-day Reynolds movie?
I shoot for Monday. It's become more of like a split it between Tuesday and Wednesday.
It's
many-
It's reflected in the product, Kron.
How many times do I need to watch the challenge to get it?
You get it the first time around. We're not saying that, but the second time around, you pick up different stuff.
I had notes written. I referenced them.
That's a plus. If they kill the kid, I'm giving this a 0.
Yeah. And I wrote that whole challengers open.
My note was, if the kid lives, I'm giving it a 0.
Wow. That's cruel.
You know, there's a lady out there that wrote a book about like children dying in movies. She wrote a whole book about it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
Is it
she
just
has
a list of
podcast.
movies?
I think
She
it's
just-
like
she
a
goes through like each one.
it's like a synopsis and then how the kid dies.
And I was like, that's pretty interesting.
Huh. Wonder what happened to her that caused that.
Here's
I
an
think-
actual note that I wrote for the challenge. Jiro cool as hell.
Does all your notes involve Jiro?
You're afraid you would have forgotten that?
Here's another. Bro, it's raining. Tilt your fucking head up. And I brought that up as we were discussing the movie.
Okay.
You wrote bro.
Yeah. Bro, it's raining. Tilt your fucking head up.
This will go on in the 5DR coffee table book.
Fuck yeah, dude. I would love to be invited to a duel. That's
It's a
another
whole bunch
note.
of fucking this shit.
I'm taking notes.
I'm just asking, you know.
Yeah. Dan, are we getting close to calling this? Is it time for season 3?
Yeah, we need to talk about that. We'll talk about that off pod.
Okay.
We don't need Mount Molehill dipping into our business. Yeah. We'll get with you later, Chris.
I thought season 2 ended 2 years from now.
I don't know what that's about. Why are you throwing shade at him?
I'm not throwing shade at him. Maybe I'm throwing an opportunity. You never know.
Oh, to come, you adding him to the show? You replacing me?
No, I'm not replacing anybody.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy with this.
You could replace me with a guy that'll watch the movies twice.
That's not happening.
I guess we'll see you next week for The Art of Dying.
Kron, think about how fun you are with one watch.
Okay, my choices were either watch the challenge twice or challenge once and Dune 2 once.
Well, you put it like that.
What would you have me do?
That's not fair. Well, you could have started. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
And
matter.
you know what? You know what? Dune 2, longer movie, didn't break it up over 2 nights.
You didn't pause it in the middle and get up and get all pissy?
I did have a thing.
Go upstairs.
I had a thing where I was literally in the last 20 minutes of Dune 2, and my wife had gone out with some of her friends, and that's when she got home and wanted to talk to me. And I was like, kept like pointing at the TV. Like I'm so close at this point.
I've been there, buddy. I'm on my fucking Vikings binge right now, and that's every night. She's like, "What are we doing?" I was like, I'm watching King Ragnar." So sorry.
This is a fucking easy solution, dudes. You say, "Do you know who I am?
Mm-hmm.
Do you fucking know who I am?" That's all you gotta do. Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
Crash and burn.
That's God giving you water. That's God wanting you to continue. Take the hint, dude.
This is the dumbest thing you've ever said.